They always say an eye for an eye, but I'm here to tell you sometimes you get farther by turning the other cheek. Here's a little story about standing up for yourself without starting a fight. It all started 10 years ago when I joined a new company. I was excited, nervous, but mostly hopeful. I was ready to prove myself. And I remember thinking, wow, this is a big step in my career. They must see something special in me. Well, they did. They just didn't know it yet. But I had a secret weapon, my lunchbox. I loved cooking, and I was pretty good at it. So I used to spend my evenings chopping vegetables, mixing spices and making tomorrow's lunch. It wasn't fancy stuff, just home-style cooking. But it was so comforting. It gave me this sense of control and stability, a little piece of home wherever I went. Preparing these meals was my thing. It was my ritual. I would put together these containers of tasty food, and I would look forward to eating them during my lunch break. They were more than just food. They were a reward, something I did for me. They tasted good, smelled good. They were like a little gift. Each one was a reminder that I was capable, that I could take care of myself. I would sit at my desk, close my eyes and breathe in the steamy air, and it was pure joy. And after a few bites, it was like taking a vacation. All the problems and worries of the morning faded away. I was just focused on enjoying my food. It was my happy place, my moment of zen in the middle of a busy workday. But it did not take long for that comfort to be taken away. On my third day, I opened the office fridge and froze. My lunch, the one I had made from scratch, was gone. Not the container, just the food. My carefully packed rice and vegetables had vanished, leaving behind an empty container and a strange feeling in my chest. This was not a mistake. This was personal. I did not want to jump to conclusions, so I brushed it off as a one-time mistake. But it happened again and again. Like clockwork, twice a week, my lunch would disappear. Always in the same way, the box left behind, wiped clean, as if someone thought it was their right to take it. Now, let me introduce you to Claire. She was a whirlwind of attitude. Sharp-dressed, loud and always the center of every conversation. She liked to be seen as confident and bold. She had this presence that demanded attention. But behind that was someone who never respected boundaries. She had a reputation for being difficult with new employees, especially women who did not fall in line. I was the newest and that made me an easy target. People just accepted that Claire did what she wanted. And no one really challenged her. I was told to ignore it, keep my head down and focus on my work, that things would settle down. But I could not ignore it. Every time I saw my empty container, it felt like a message that I did not matter, that my effort could be taken without even a second thought. And she would smile the next day as if nothing had happened and talk about how she never had time to meal prep. That was my breaking point. So I decided to stay quiet and think. I started making decoy lunches for the fridge, simple and delicious looking meals that I never touched. Meanwhile, I quietly ate unrefrigerated food at my desk and waited for Claire to take the bait. Sure enough, she did. Every single time I watched her walk into the break room alone, open the fridge, pretend to grab a soda and instead take my food. She never looked guilty, just quick and confident, like she knew no one would stop her, like this was her world and we were just extras. I was done being an extra. So I planned something that would make her pause, something that would shake her confidence, not with anger, but with imagination. I began talking openly in the office about this new wellness cleanse I was doing, how I was reconnecting with my natural cycle and building a deeper connection with my body. People looked uncomfortable when I said it, but I stayed calm, centered like someone who had found clarity. I told them I was preparing meals with ingredients connected to monthly rhythms and that it was all about internal balance. I made sure Claire overheard. I talked near her. I brought it up when she was at the coffee machine. I even pulled out my phone and showed a fake video I had made the night before. It showed me in gloves stirring a red soup on the stove and adding something from a small container. It looked unusual but natural, and I said I was bringing a portion every day for lunch. I gave the fake dish a name. I called it Balanced Stew, and I labeled the next decoy lunch with that exact title. I placed it in the fridge with care, a thick red broth with root vegetables and seasoning, and a note that said balance recipe for internal wellness, not for sharing. I did not have to say anything more that day. I saw Claire open the fridge, then pause, her hand hovering over the container. She looked around, saw no one and took it anyway. The next day she was out of the office. The day after that too, no explanation. Someone said she had stomach issues. Someone else said she was stressed. Either way, she was gone for days, and when she came back she avoided me completely. Never looked at me, never touched anything in the fridge that did not belong to her. I want to make it clear there was nothing real in that stew, nothing unsafe. It was just beet broth and vegetables, but the story I told around it, the idea I planted in her mind, that did the work. The imagination can be more powerful than anything physical, and it worked better than I ever expected. After that, the office fridge became safe. People started labeling their food again, and no one touched anything that was not theirs, especially Claire. She never admitted anything, but she did not have to. She brought her own meals from then on, quiet, small and untouched. As for me, I went back to cooking real meals, not traps. I could eat in peace knowing that I had protected my space without yelling, without confrontation, just by being smart and by trusting that sometimes the best revenge is letting someone think twice before ever crossing you again. You might be wondering why I didn't just confront Claire or talk to HR. Well, here's the thing. I knew that would start a war and I did not feel like fighting that battle. Plus, everyone knew what she was doing. They just accepted it. So I figured if I wanted to change things, I had to do it myself. And besides, I've always been a bit of a rebel. Confrontation is not always the best route. Sometimes a little creativity solves the problem and teaches a lesson at the same time. Who knows? Maybe my story will help someone else dealing with a difficult situation. You don't always have to react in the same way. Sometimes it pays to think outside the box, be a little sly and stand up for yourself without starting a brawl. That's my advice. Life's too short to deal with unnecessary drama. So next time you're faced with a tough situation, remember, there's more than one way to handle it. Stay cool, think on your feet and trust your instincts. You might surprise yourself with what you can do. Okay, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Your support means a lot and inspires me to keep creating. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more stories. I've got lots more where that came from. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Take care and I'll see you in the next video.